I've been really excited as I've been reading your stories from our unit, Arc of a Story. You've gotten really good at fiction writing, and I can't wait to hear what you have to share with each other this morning. I think you're ready to go on to some new things. Remember at the beginning of the year when we wrote our Indiana geography essays? Well, that's what we're going to be working on now, essays. If you learn to write an essay well, you can do just about anything in school and in life. This is new work for you, and before you start a new project, it helps to see examples of what you're going to be doing. So, for example, if you wanted to learn to be a diver, it would help to watch someone else go to dive like you want to. You notice where they point their toes and how they leap off the diving board and the angle they hit the water, and you watch and you think, yeah, that's the way I'm going to dive in too. Well, it's just like that when you learn a new genre to write. It helps to study the work of someone who's written that sort of text before. So listen and look as I read you an essay written by a writer that's your age. As you listen, you should be thinking, I'm going to be writing just that kind of way. Pay careful attention to the moves this writer makes and see where you're ready to dive in. A true friend. No other relationship is like my grandmother's relationship with me. I really understand her. I could tell her anything, and every time I saw her, I felt happy. The first reason my grandmother Evelyn was special to me is because I felt like I was the only one who really understood her. An example of that is one day I went to her house. Everyone was getting ready for dinner. I noticed my great grandmother, Evelyn, just sitting alone at the dinner table. I sat down next to her. My aunt came over. She asked Grandma, "What do you want to eat for dinner?" Why is she talking like that to great grandma? Just because she's old doesn't mean that she is stupid, I thought to myself. My grandma didn't reply. This time I asked her, but how I would ask anyone. Grandma, what do you want to eat for dinner? Whatever you are eating, Sophie, she said softly. I felt that if only everyone talked to her like that, maybe she would feel normal. She could tell that I really understood her. I really understood her because we talked to each other. I really understood her because we listened to each other. I really understood her because we spent time with each other. Sometimes you can get to know somebody without words. Not only did I understand her, but I knew I could tell her anything. An example of that is when one day at school I wasn't happy. Someone was bullying me. So I went to my great grandmother's house. I sat down next to her. I put my hand on her hand. I told her what was happening. When she answered, she always made me feel like I was right. She never said, just stay away from him or just ignore him, he'll stop. She always listened carefully and she would say, you're right, Sophie. You're doing the right thing. When she told me that, I forgot about why I was angry. I could tell her anything because we didn't tell each other secrets. I could tell her anything because we understood each other's problems. I could tell her anything because we didn't judge each other. Everyone should have somebody in their life they can tell anything to. Perhaps the most important reason why she was special was because when I saw her, I felt happy. I felt happy when I saw her on Hanukkah. It was a time when everyone was together. I felt happy when I saw her on Thanksgiving because we said our thanks. She always prayed for me. I felt happy when I saw her on her birthday because everyone was there and peaceful. An example of how she makes me feel happy is one day I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I was very cranky that day. I went to my great grandmother's house. I slumped on the couch. I heard my great grandmother's voice. Sophie, she said, why the long face? She sat down next to me. I'm just tired, that's all, I said. Okay, do you want something? She said. I'm okay, I said to her, put my head on her shoulder. I could tell that she was trying to make me feel better. I smiled. I realized that because of my great grandmother, I was feeling good. I'm always happy when I see my great grandmother, Evelyn. Every minute of the world is special when you have somebody to comfort. Although I can't spend time with her anymore, the memories I have of times we spent together are so precious. Just because she isn't actually here doesn't mean I don't feel her with me. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, love is the key to the problems of the world. I know that the love that we shared helps solve our problems. I will meet many other people in my life, but nobody will ever take her place. Today, I want to talk about how when writers write essays, They include their opinions sometimes, and they structure their essay so that they communicate both their thesis statement, which is their idea, and their reasons for their thesis statement. Sometimes writers refer to that as boxes and bullets. So I'm going to go through and practice that with you today, and I want you to think about the things we've done in reading where we've had to give our idea and then give evidence. It's a lot like that. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to do today. For this writing unit, you'll actually be spending more time writing on actual paper in an actual physical notebook instead of writing in Google Docs. So let's take a look at how to start. Remember, I said that we're going to talk about a thesis statement and reasons today. So let's take a look at that. I was thinking maybe we could come up with an idea that most of us could agree on. So maybe not everybody in our class agrees on it, but most of us would agree on this. So I decided that my thesis statement was going to be that I love ice cream. So maybe you're thinking, Miss F, I don't love ice cream. I'm sorry. I love ice cream. So that's what we're going to do today. So on your paper, you would come up with your own thesis statement, something that you feel strongly about, but not something terribly serious, something that you know a lot about, something that comes to mind quickly, something that you're good at, something that you enjoy. This is going to be a really short writing assignment today. So you come up with your thesis statement, and you put that in a box. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you need to come up with your reasons. And you need to come up with 3 reasons why you like ice cream. So if you were all here with me, I would ask you to help me. But since you're not, I guess I'll have to think of them myself. So one reason I love ice cream is I love that there are so many flavors to choose from. I think it's nice to have a variety, and although I admit I don't ever go out and try crazy new things, and I know a lot of people like to just try new flavors, I like that there are so many to choose from because it means that there are so many different options that I have, even though I admit I'm picky. Another reason that I love ice cream is because you can have it so many different ways. So for example, you can have it in a milkshake, you can have it in a sundae, you can have it in a cone, you can have it in a bowl. So I like that you can eat it in a lot of different ways. And the last reason that I like ice cream is because it reminds me of my childhood. We used to always end up with ice cream on special days. So if I'm having a bad day and I have ice cream, I feel better. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing today, is coming up with your boxes and your bullets below to figure out what your thesis statement is, which is this opinion here, this whole reason for writing. And then you're going to come up with your evidence. And these are your bullets. Okay, and that's what you're going to be doing in the box today. All right, so go ahead and get started on that.